For years, I've been carrying around this dull ache, this feeling of being lost, unfulfilled, and this vague, pointed sense that I'm meant for more than my current life resembles. I felt all the ways that I wasn't living boldly, taking risks, really living on my edge. I'd read books and talk about these ideas very passionately. But when it came to actually embodying that, I felt like I was falling short. And so being confronted by this intuitive truth that I was playing small, distracting myself with endless content, books, podcasts, searching for the answers, just over intellectualizing everything, living from the neck up, lost in the endless vistas of possibility. Because when you're free to be anything, it's hard to be anything. And on paper, I had no real reason to feel this dull ache. I had a good life by most standards. I lived in New York City. I had a good job that was flexible, great girlfriend, interesting hobbies, and good family and friends. But still, I didn't feel it. And I kept striving, kept searching. And I would beat myself up for feeling this way. I would think I should be grateful for all that I have, and I would think about doing like gratitude practices and stuff like that, even though I never really was consistent with things like that. Same thing with meditation. I would do it when the mood struck, but nothing like a disciplined practice. And I would often think, like, what's wrong with me? Like, why can't I just figure out my life calling? I never really wanted a 9-to-5, but I was looking for a life calling. And I felt like I had become aware of so much, but I just couldn't figure out this one thing. And I didn't know why it remained elusive to me. And I would feel the years passing, time slipping through my fingers. And sitting here at 40, not much has changed, honestly. Some progress, some more interesting experiences for sure, but still this dull ache. And to make matters worse, I feel my life growing thinner. And I've carried around this ache for years without really having a name to put on it. Then I came across this quote from the Gospel of Thomas. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you do not bring forth what is within you, what you do not bring forth will destroy you. Now, when I heard this quote, it haunted me. It followed me around for days. I couldn't get it out of my head. Kept thinking about it. And I think it's because it points to this unlived life within us that we all carry. And for me, it lived in my fantasies, the ways that I dream about being around other people. When I would go to like work events or any sort of like social occasion, sometimes I would just dream about these ways of being, and it would make me emotional. Sometimes I'd be sitting on the subway and thinking about like, how amazing, how special of a memory would that be if you actually did that in real life and allowed yourself to be that free. And the sad thing is, a lot of times these things have remained dormant in me, just fantasies. It reminds me of that movie Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Just getting caught in your fantasies. And that's why I love that movie. It's about stopping the fantasizing and actually living it. And, all this made me afraid of something specific, that I would get to 50, much of my life passed by that point, and realizing that I've squandered it trying to arrive someplace. Trapped in my head, chasing that we all have. Maybe somebody who sounded impressive, did a few interesting things, but never built something that I could rest my head against.